If all of them are pointing towards a certain direction, then that's what you can use to determine the atmosphere. And looking at them, they've all pointed to the positive direction that we all want. I mean, exchange rate have gone down from 15+%, to the dollar to currently perspective. That is good. We look at inflation also from 20 now to the bracket. We are now in the 13.7 bracket. I mean, looking at GDP, it has also gone up, I mean, as expected. Reserves, which were around $4 to $5 billion, is now around $11 billion plus, almost getting to more than 5 months of import cover. I mean, interest rates, of course, we have what we call benchmark rate in lending, which is, but it is going down. With those who have been borrowing from the banks can actually attest that indeed, when it comes to corporate, interest rates are falling slightly. Individuals who are also taking loans from the banks can also say that banks have started dropping rates gradually. And so these are, I mean, development that shows that the economy is heading to the right direction. And these are positive signals. And so, yes, for the first 6 months, so far, Ghana is heading to the right direction. And I think that this is a fact that everybody can attest to it. I mean, depending on where you belong to in the economy and the kind of gain that you benefit. If you are somebody who is importing more into the country, definitely with exchange rate being down, you definitely gain more. I mean, if you are somebody who also exports, then definitely you also not be happy, because when you export and you receive inflows, you change it into CDs, and then you see that your income has dropped. If you are somebody who receive remittance from abroad, from brothers, sisters, family, eat your cake and then have it. At the end of the day, what is significant plan ahead? Businesses want to be able to budget ahead. Business. And so far so good.
Okay, all right. Malik, same question.
The economic indicators look good because we have growth rates also up than the planned. So yeah, it looked good. And then also, even within the first quarter, GRA has also exceeded its revenue targets for the period. And we are looking forward to this reflecting in businesses, the costs, the prices on the market. So we as citizens and consumers in general will also attest to the fact that it has impacted our life positively.
All right. Now let's go to some specifics. And Peter, I'll start with you. You talked about the stability in there. Usually you talk to some businessmen concerning the currency. They're not so sure because, well, the Bank of Ghana is doing 10.45. You go to others who are also doing, I mean, less than that. And
so I will not say we've seen that stability yet. We've not seen it yet. We've only seen the drop, but we've not seen the stability yet, because when the president came to give a ban of between 10 to 12, then that is where people are saying that it's now scarce to get the dollar from the bank. The reason is that, assuming that you are a businessman who imports, for instance, and at first when the rate was dropping, you say tomorrow, let me wait because let me quickly sell it. Now, because of what has happened, everybody is now looking at 12. So if you are somebody who sells dollars, you say, no, let me not sell it now. Let me wait when it gets to 12, I'll sell it, because that's the target. If you are somebody who also want to import, you say, hey, where the rate is at now is heading towards 12. So let me quickly rush and go and buy the dollars and do my import. These things happening, then that's the reason why you see people. So it is not that there's no dollar in the system, but the businessman who is a strategic business person is looking at the weather, let me call it so, and then try to see how he can take strategic advantage, position himself or herself very well in order to benefit from the wave that is blowing. And so everybody is looking at the...
if we still play within the 10, 11 till the end of the year. Or
because of history, what is, don't forget, in 2022, so ability is to assure those who transact business, especially, that when you ask for USD from the banks, you will be able to get the supply. Then they were able to say that, okay, once there's supply, then there's no cause for alarm. And that is how you can be able to, I mean, bring back that confidence of stability. But if you say that, what if it doesn't get to the 12? What if it doesn't get to the 12? What it happens is that anytime you are doing business, there are timelines. If you are doing business where your timeline is to pay your creditors within 90 days, within 30 days, within 60 days, depending on the, terms you have, you will not be able to wait further longer, because you have to, honor your obligations. But if you are somebody where you can be able to, wait and see, then people will be looking at getting to the end of the year. Then the levels that it will be by the end of the year will let them know that, okay, based on the situation, I think it has stabilized now that they can move to whatever business they want to do. So for now, we're still in the middle.
Okay, all right.
So it dropped significantly somewhere April, May. But from end of May till now, it's been around 10 point something, between 10 and 10.5. At least from the Bank of Ghana, it doesn't go far. But we have people mention it because if people, especially people in power, people in authority, are mentioning that we expect it to be around 12, then those that are waiting for it to go down to buy may start buying now. People who have dollar and wanted to put them on the market now, at the time it was 10 or 10.5, will now wait because now they heard that it can go up. So they are also waiting. And I think that is what we are now expecting. So we are giving it some time, monitor the data and see. But I think within the next 2-3 months, if it still remains the same, then we can now confirm that it is stable.
What's your thoughts on the Bank of Ghana's management in terms of how strong they need to be involved in managing the currency so that they don't put in that much dollars that will end up affecting the gains made so far? Yeah, that's Mallet, yes.
All right, so, well, I think it's Bank of Ghana's job to make sure we have a stable economy.
Yes.
They want to make sure their currency is stable.
Yes.
They are also in charge of monetary policy.
Yes.
So I think they are just monitoring, and they don't want the currency to go beyond what they expect it to be. Well, though we have importers, we also export a couple of things. We export gold, our cocoa are also exported. So if the dollar comes down so much, it will affect our revenue as well, the country's revenue. But I think it's a reason they are managing. But since we say we are in the free economy, yes.
Okay, I think that's going to answer that question, yes.
IMF comment is just to tell them to stop the artificial. People think it could go further. The dollar is the system. The reason it is what.
Peter, same on how the bank.
Some years ago, we said that Bank of Ghana should be releasing more dollars in the system to help. And the only challenge is that nations are because with what your reserves is enough to forex from the good million. I mean, around 20 to 30 million. Today you are doing in excess of that. In fact, now we are heading to a situation where they are even going to do almost $1 billion. You can supply the market with whatever demand the market is asking for.
Okay.
And so, for me, I would say that it is not different from what has happened there. Because in the past, Bank of Ghana has still enough now, and they want to pump. Now they've reduced it to about 50 or 60 or so. Gradually raise it to the level of the 12. I believe that's what they want to do. Just that they want to go gradually so that it doesn't have much impact. Because don't forget that government is losing revenue.
Yes.
So they believe because for instance,
and government is also making some gains.
And government is also making some gains. Yeah. So when I talk of fiscal consolidation, I think that all these are included. And so we are hoping that we can sustain the gains we are making now. That is the most important
thing. The fear also, which I think is also coming from the IMF, Mallet also touched on same, is that if the Bank of Ghana gets involved too much, that appreciation of the currency, which is the Ghana cedi, might look a bit artificial.
Of you are giving more than the demand is is requiring for. Currently, if you are an importer and you want FX to trade, and the Bank of Ghana says, I can supply you with that demand, with that requirement. Of course, I will not call it is too much because what I need, you say you can supply. The only problem is because if they don't supply also, and you have to rely on Interbank. Now, the forex market is such that we have offshore players, then we have the local players. The offshore players, whenever they want to, they can manipulate the currency for you. Because you see, he sits out there, he wants to do a transaction. If he's moving from your market to another market, he doesn't care what the rate is. Well, yeah. He wants to move. So he's ready to take whatever rate you offer, and then he goes. And so when they are pulling out of the economy, then that's where the challenge is. Fortunately for us, because of the debt restructuring and then the bond yield, we don't have much of the external bondholders who will be pulling out unannounced. That will create the disruption that we normally see. Because in the past, what normally creates the disruptions is when you have the whole world is such that the other economies which would have been doing well are also having challenges. Then they will hasting slowly in moving out of emerging market to other market. And that is what to play to the gallery of Ghana, together with the restructuring, which will not give us, which has deferred some of our interests, and those that have not been deferred are also low. So I think that we have to take advantage of what is happening around us now, and then build our economy, build a foundation so that we can sustain the gains.
Okay, at least there's a fair agreement that with the monetary side, the Bank of Ghana is not doing that bad. Let me come to the other aspect of it, which is the fiscal side. And I start with you, Wallet, on this concerning taxes. In the budget, when it was read in March this year, we saw some taxes that were taken out. The betting tax is one of them. E-levy is also another one. But subsequently, we've seen an introduction of some levy in there to help us with the energy sector. My question, the first question is that the removal of those taxes, what has been the impact, be it positive or negative? So what should we look for? Yes.
All right. So definitely those are revenue that you are taking off. So it will hit our revenue, the government's revenue. However, the new ones you mentioned that have been introduced can help increase or make up whatever fall in revenue those will cause. But beyond that, I think the e-levy, not to go into it, but to mention that we are looking at now the space. We all want to reduce corruption. We want to go electronic. We want to leave traces for transactions so we can look at them. And we have to encourage the use of some of these electronic means of transferring money. So once you take off the e-levy, it makes it cheaper to actually transact or send money over the electronic space. So that is good news. On the betting side, well, people have their own views about it. It hits revenue, that is true. Is it really encouraging the betting? It's another conversation that can be had. But I feel... I
mean, as a tax expert, what do you think?
As a tax expert, I think we have to look at different dynamics. Especially, we also have to look at the environment we are in. Yes. These people, my argument normally is, are they productive sectors these people are supposed to be engaging, and you want to discourage them from this to go into that productive sector? Are they leaving the productive sector to engage in some of these things, so you want to discourage them from doing that? We just don't want them to get addicted to it. That is also there. That's a conversation. That's why I say it's a conversation we can have. We have to look at the entire economy before we look at that. But from a tax person's point of view, that will cause a fall in government revenue. However, now that these taxes are not there, somebody will argue that you have this betting companies who also now make money. Note that the betting companies themselves are being taxed. They pay their taxes. It's just the winning from the betting that is being stopped. But the betting companies, whatever gains they are making from there will still be taxed. And that's also coming a revenue for government. So we have to look at it with what is happening in the economy.
Okay, but I mean, with what has happened so far, there's an argument of expanding the tax net, or even the bracket itself. How can that be done without introducing new taxes or levies?
Well, like we say, people who are not within the tax bracket. We talk about the small and medium enterprises that are not within the tax bracket. Yes, so how do we do that? You see the GRA now being very active on social media, trying to intensify tax education, trying to get people to understand what their obligation under the tax law, it being a civil responsibility, and the fact that we need these taxes to be able to move the country forward. So with this education, and I think everybody should come on board. We shouldn't leave this education to only the GRA to do. In our own small ways, let's try to educate people. The church, the ministers of God, the pastors can also use their pulpit to actually help preach compliance, the need to be compliant with some of this issues. So, yes, once we educate more, get people to understand the tax space more, that will help increase the compliance. Also, in recent time, the GRA mentioned they are trying to use a more simplified tax, and that is also a reason. We also help those people get some money from them. We can also have conversations on the cost of even getting those people to pay. Because you hear people also mention, well, because it's voluntary, that is why. But if you don't want to do this voluntary, if you want to encourage voluntary, but you want the tax authority to go there to do the assessment, look at the manpower that will be required.
The conversation, the ones removed, And let's also talk about the one that has been added. That is the levy that has been added onto the fuel.
Everybody wish he or she doesn't pay tax, but no government can survive without tax, because that is the most sustainable, revenue, hashtag for the government.
Because that's a constant.
Yeah, that's constant. Now, for me, one tax that was removed that personally I wasn't in agreement with is the betting tax.
Why?
Yes, you see, that tax is a controversial tax for me, because if you want the productive sector of this economy, especially with the youth, then if there's one tax that has to be introduced and remain high, is that tax. Because you see, who are the people paying those taxes and what is it for? And if we are not careful, we will in terms of what they should look at for in an economy where for the energy levy, government for the way they manage it in terms of introduction for its commencement, because we have to, meet, our own self in terms of our expenditure at a certain point. The challenge is that this is a tax that has been introduced in the past in different forms to address certain specific challenges, specific issues like TOR, ESLA. For instance, as at now, if anybody is able to tell us the toll levy that was introduced, how much was generated and what it was used for, and the reason why toll is not operating, then we'll better appreciate some of these taxes. But unfortunately, we introduce these taxes, we don't get the proper accountability, and then it becomes something else. So people think that is a way of just saying because Ghanaians will pay, so let's go ahead and pay. But I'm hoping that this time around, because there are new things happening and we are resetting Ghana, as the president has indicated, it will also be part of the reset that now taxes that are introduced, there will be more accountability on that.
Okay, all right. And on the screen now are some of the fiscal measures in place for when the budget was presented in 2025. The government's spending cuts, ministries reduced from 30 to management plans to build fiscal buffers, and also smoothing repayment schedules, and also mandating commencement certificating and integrating procurement system, which is another issue that was put in place. Let's briefly touch on issues concerning these cuts in expenditure there. The cuts at the ministries level from 30 ministries to about 23, and now also the ministers to having cut it to 60 from 88. Well, I'll start with you on this. Also within the expenditure, where and the impact this is also going to have, because some also will argue that, well, you can cut it, but if the amount of money that goes there still becomes more, then you've not made any gains at all.
Well, that is it. We can cut it, but if we don't control the amount of money, because if you take some out and you increase the
allocation,
then we achieve nothing. But we just believe that they won't do that. That after the cuts, you don't add it to others. And one thing is, it will reduce our expenditure. And reducing the expenditure, some of these cuts also send a signal to the taxpayer that at least you feel your taxes will be channeled into other developmental areas. So that alone encourages people to comply. So that's how I look at it. But I also think the cut is good, provided it doesn't affect them also negatively. That we also hope that doesn't become an incentive to look elsewhere to actually meet their own expenditure. Because if this is what I'm getting, you are cutting it, and I'm unable to meet my own expenditure, then that is where I'll start looking for other means to still afford what I have to, or live my life. So we have to look at all that.
Okay, all right. Peter?
I think that what is good is good. Looking at the cut, it is a fact that indeed, if you have reduced number of ministries, in above 100 to 60, of course, this one is good savings. And I think that...
Should we really look at the allocation first before we can know whether it is good savings or not?
Well, if those other ministries were running on a budget and they are no more, then definitely there's a saving. Even if it's a PESWA, there's a saving.
Because you can have those ministries cut off. Let's just assume that when you had those ministries, it was just about, you spent about 100. Let's say 100 Ghana cedis. But if you should cut them down to 23, and then you are still spending around 150. You know?
And so that was a fact. What I want to be done is that we should legislate this so that in future government, nobody will come and because they want to create job, they will increase the numbers. Because looking at the numbers in parliament for the ruling government, and they still stick to the number of ministers, then that tells us that you can run the country with less ministers. And so for me, we have to see how we can cap this, legislate it, so that future government will not come and then just create ministries that will be, how do you call it, will just be spending ministries. They don't generate anything. Of course, government in general already, it's not into commercial business, so definitely they will spend. And so if you don't, back some of these things with law, one government will come and then they will just blow everything away. So I wish that will be done. But overall, we are saving some money. What we have to be told is that this money that we are saving, I wish government will look at a specific project and let's channel all these savings into that project so that we can end up and say that within this period, these savings that we have made as a result of these measures we put in place, we have channeled it into this particular project. Even if it is one hospital, like La General Hospital that was destroyed. Let us say that we are going to channel all this money into La General Hospital and build it. So that tomorrow, even the ministers and the appointees themselves can test out that our savings have resulted in this significant project.
You're speaking about these savings with comparative from the past, with the past, because of what happened in the past, the number of ministers that we've had. But what if we can also have this conversation within the context of this particular government and their plan? Would there be a need to even use that money for a specific project? Because they also have their own plan. And they think that what they...
Having many ministers is what will help them to run the economy. So for that one, I'm okay with it. Now, new government has come and decided, okay, I will not run my administration with this number of ministers. I'll cut A, B, C, D. So I'm saying that, okay, instead of deciding to maintain it, and you say you are reducing, because when it was there, even when we were living with COVID, and with the domestic debt exchange and the restructuring, we're still having those ministries.
Yeah.
So if we are out of that, don't drum now, and we have reduced the number of ministries, then there's a good savings going on. So that's what I'm saying, that in order for everybody to see how visible these savings are, we should have a specific project that we channel it into. And that is where we will appreciate the savings. Because you see, the ministers, the appointees are just like us. They also earn salary. And most of them may not be involved in other businesses as we all expect.
Yeah.
Unless whatever happens, I don't want to talk about that. But I think that if they are making some savings, we have to appreciate the savings we are making. And let us use it, judiciously, that we can be able to point out to. And for me, if they will do that, that should be something that they should be proud of. Even if they want to say, savings from government appointees and they will write their names on it, once it is going to benefit the Ghanaian, that is good for me, because at the end of the day, majority are going to benefit from it. You know what Ultramodern Hospital will do if you use your savings to do that? That's fantastic.
Okay, all right. Again, if you look at the 2025 budget, it talks about the projected revenue, projected expenditure around 281.8 billion Ghana cedis, which has usually been a story. So a deficit of around 37 billion Ghana cedis. How to make up that deficit is a bigger conversation here. Now, with that deficit, government also took away some taxes. Malat, I'm starting with you on this. With this mid-year budget review, should we expect maybe some handles in here that can help us with this deficit?
Well, from the conversation, it seems they are not looking at introducing new handles, and we also don't expect new handles, at least not for this mid-year review. But then we are expecting reforms, though.
Okay.
Yeah, we are expecting some reforms, especially in the VAT, the VAT reform, the COVID-19.
What's with the VAT reform?
Yeah, so is it the VAT? At the point we have the VAT being 7.5% at the point, somewhat changing before 2018 August, and businesses are able, so the VAT will work on this output-input basis. When you buy your inputs, you incur VAT on that, and then when you make your sales, you also charge VAT on it. What I charge to my customers is what we refer to as the output VAT.
Okay.
What I paid for my input is normally what we refer to as the input VAT. But VAT is meant to be paid by the final consumer.
Okay.
Yes. So, but I have to pay mine so that I collect from the
So
consumer.
you're also a final consumer.
No, I'm speaking in terms of businesses.
Okay.
Is that okay? So, what the business charge is the output VAT,
Yes.
but what the business pay is the input VAT. So
Yes.
the business is able to claim whatever. But somewhere August, we have the decoupling of the levy, where we have straight levies being 5%,
Okay.
and then the VAT being 12.5%. So though you are still going to pay the 5% and pay the 12.5%, you can only claim the 12.5%. So the 5% levy becomes a cost to doing business. So the cost of doing business is now high because of that straight levy. That is not the only thing, because now you even charge the 12.5 on the 5% as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what the business people are complaining about. It's making cost of doing business expensive. It's increasing the cost of doing business. So we are looking at they coming, putting it together again, and businesses are able to claim the total both VAT and levy as part of their input VAT system, and hence that will also reduce the cost of doing business to some level. So that is what we are expecting, and we also think almost everybody thinks COVID-19 levy
Yes.
has overstayed.
Yes,
it
that should be
will
taken
come.
off.
So we are calling it COVID-19 levy. If we think it still have to be kept, why are we keeping it? Because I'm not sure we are still dealing with COVID-19.
Okay.
So if there's something else we still want to collect this to actually deal with, then let's take this off and get a new one. And then we all know that the new one we are taking is for this specific thing. We monitor, like Peter mentioned, Doc mentioned earlier, where some of the savings are used to undertake projects, and we can all see it becomes clear to everyone. The transparency is there. So if we have a different handle, that okay, we need this, like the 1% for the energy sector,
Per liter, yes.
and we see it being used there, then we can all just, but we are still calling it COVID-19. And the business
There's a proposal that, I mean, it should be renamed to take care of the Mahama Care, what is called the Mahama Care.
Well, so if that is done, then we all know it's going to the Mahama Care. Then we know that the Mahama Care is being financed by this. Then let's see what the Mahama Care is being used for on the in the economy, and then we can all attest to the fact that yes, the money is being used properly. But if you are calling it COVID-19, the name also sends COVID-19 still having to pay levies for COVID-19, and these are some of the reforms that we are expecting.
And these reforms can help us make up with this deficit of 37 billion.
Well, the deficit, this cannot help make the deficit, because we are even looking at it bringing the revenue down a little.
Exactly.
But to bridge the deficit, well, we expect that with the debt, the spending, as they are managing the spending, we expect that will also reduce the expenditure a little, and we see. Okay. We're hoping that we will be able to bridge the gap.
All right, look, projected revenue, projected expenditure, there's always a gap in there, and there's a deficit. How can we meet up with that? And also, we're removing certain taxes too. We're not just shooting ourselves in the foot.
Not really, because there will always be a gap.
Always
be a gap.
So that means that we'll always spend more than what we get.
No, the reason is that government is not into commercial business. And so whatever money government put out there, you don't get the returns. And so no matter the circumstances, when government build roads, government build schools, government build hospitals, the fees and the bills that are charged by these institutions cannot pay for it. So that's why the private sector institutions have higher charges than the government institutions. So if government build a hospital and a private person build a hospital, the charges at the private hospital is higher than that for the government, because government own is to satisfy the social need of the people. But the private person, he wants to make profit. Because of that, there will always be gap. When government goes for money to build roads, those roads are expensive. But government cannot be charging tolls that will enable that road pay for itself. And so because of this, there will always be a gap. There's no way there will not be gap. What is important is for us to use the money judiciously, for us to make sure that we are being prudent in our spending. And so, fair.
The current VAT system we have
is not fair. You know why?
Tell us.
So you are promoting smuggling into the economy. How? If you are manufacturing, when you bring in import, you pay 6%, you pay the levy. The two levies. You pay the levy, then when you produce, you add the levy on top. When your distributors or customers buy, they also add it and they will sell. So right from the import, production, and to the final consumer, you are looking at 333. That alone is giving you almost about 10%, more than that. And this is going to be on top of the VAT, which is the 50% that is added. You are adding tax on tax. The one who brings in, who looks at all this, smuggled in into the economy, he doesn't pay any of these levies. Government doesn't get any revenue. He takes it straight to the market. He doesn't employ anybody. He sells, he collects the money, cash into the pocket, and goes. And so this is the reason why it's not fair. So those who are...
In other words, the current tax system we have is making it difficult for manufacturing to thrive.
Oh, yes. Yes, so most manufacturing, if you are not careful, they will turn into trading businesses.
So just bring the things in and
just bring the thing in because it is exactly, because it is more, look, and that is where government will have to look at it from that perspective so that major policies like 24-hour economy will thrive. Because you know why? If I want to run as a manufacturing business for 24 hours, it depends on demand for my product. If there's demand for my product, I will operate 24 hours. If there's no demand, I can't produce and keep it in a warehouse.
Can't you create a demand for your product?
How do you create demand? You create demand when you have an enabling market. Is going to, for those who are into vegetable oil, goes to the market to buy, does it care which brand of oil is being used? If you go and buy kelewele or you go and buy fish, do you care which oil was used in frying it? And because of that, the Ghana Revenue Authority will see a drop in the revenue, in the tax revenue of these institutions, and you think that they are doing something wrong, but it's because the demand or their sales have gone down drastically. So if their sales have gone down, the VAT payment will also go down. So you think that maybe they are hiding something, but they are not hiding something because the person his sales has reduced drastically. And so when we rationalize our tax system and like what they said they want to do now, I hope they will be able to do so that when you have everybody paying 1 million every month, 1 cedi every month, even as a Ghanaian, assuming everybody is in the tax bracket, 30 million people, assuming everybody is paying 1 million, every month is not 30 million. But if you increase it to 10, and only 10 people are paying, is it not only 10 million? So what's the reforms that we are making so that whilst we are reforming, we are also moving people along like that. Otherwise, you'll be reforming, building the structures, you'll be expanding, and you leave the structures behind. And that is what has been affecting the economy for a very long time. We always want to expand in a fast way, and we forget the structures that will move along with the reforms.
Okay, if you're just joining us, we're just building up to the media budget review where the finance minister is expected to present this to Parliament this afternoon. We are just some minutes away from midday, and when we get the signals clear from the floor of Parliament, we'll take you to Parliament and let you know exactly some of these issues and the figures that the finance minister will present in this afternoon. A review of the first 6 months of the economic figures of this country and see what the future also holds for us over the last 6 months of this year. Now, review. Let's take a listen to some Ghanaians and what they have to say about the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
But my expectation is that because of the year, if agriculture is taken properly, food can be in abundance.
Sikasam de se pato no ekwa na ekosoro dollar no so ye pese ma mama ni jaba bi faako no kira Ghana for say aha na metimi di okono akwakodo ma Ghana for na ye so eboto mo ayema ye adwuma enye sika hwa busuafo wo fie no
we bleka so oba no ka ye so betete no ma so ba o mate no ma ni bi so ye fair no mate so and so no man ko market ko tari
for the clearance for Allied Help at is forcing is to force and let what we call it the laboratory scientists to feel what we call it is for some.
All All right, those are some thoughts coming from some Ghanaians as to what to expect from the finance minister as he presents the mid-year budget review. We're going to take you across the country to pick some thoughts also coming from the regions too. I'm starting off with the Bono East region. We're talking to Bono East regional correspondent Samuel Ayama, who is joining us as we speak now. Samuel, good afternoon to you.
We are coming to you live from the expectations from the media budget review. There have been a lot of concerns here in my region, and then I have some of the residents here to speak to me. Okay, so media budget review now finance minister echo radio or parliament and then now we free about.
Yeah, the same. Abana Chemu, Eddie, agenda 111 bay. The area that Banoba, about 2 agenda 111 so, ma enimu. Namu say with agenda 111 Kazo, Sifo Fra, not was he Manusika. Yaha press that you might see a security service and also a year. As I say, Abano, Oshe, now my security so, Echo so, MIA. Bioso, was it 24 economy. And Kaye. But the penny ordinary Becana enjoying Yaguma because a mamuo and I say about Bia Baba Cana Sams what count on Yaguma. And to answer area say of Yaguma. Now, some year up Basuo, Tachman, a bring is Hano. About no share now Muama Asum Yaguma. And then
okay, you may say. Also, I didn't know can't offer the Paya kind of budget.
Budget in Sierra Domahama. Oni no kura my driver for the son say e bra na na do ho no so send this car 1 million buy no auto petrol 1 liter beer 1 cedi it means out of 1 gallon to 4 cedis and the you send this car 1 million 1 cedi ni petrol 60 cedis 4 cedis why you kura and to
then our best way the fat animal
yeah per se on hwe na said the other year campaign
All right, sorry about the break in there. That was Samuel Ayama who speaking thoughts from Bono East and some members who are in Bono East. If you're just joining us, let's go back to join Samuel Ayama and get those thoughts again.
Okay. So then I was
Galamsey say yes, good board of me in a boy. It is a boy, man. I didn't tina. Almost a cofa Galamsey. Now, a dear chin, we call Galam, a dear chin as you way say, a dear chin as you way say. It's a budget your years is here. Orange honum, orange honum mum, and no mum, did you say no, a bit to me a bois. Sani money free wa, near Opessa or Yabia. No, continue, and you toss you. What the campaign say? Obetina Banswa, obey from the Chimay to Wino. Yeah, when and then it's a washes Amrano de Atuo. Last month, I come. Let me send Combeko. Aku be say, you know, Atuo, but Omanye. Yeah, from Boone East to
okay, yo. So then also can you find budget? Then I'll get on the man. Boone East, the MC, Boone East, yes. You then you go and send mama. Buy a name of Bibrio Horma, not be an economy now. Could do them so buy. Yeah, who say what you yama a Gina and answer because your name will be Boone East here. And then I'm saying I find that out. Not a Diana Sam Crampuno, not a Diana Sam was so no boy. Them say mama buy him says 7 months to 6 months. What my baby who say Yama but the message mama yeah driver for yes Reno I'm say fuel no there was 17 series asana late ansa na wɔbae na dem sɛ wɔatima ho so ama na ayɛ de ama dem sɛ wɔ 12 cities na 12 cities no yɛbɛsrɛ no yɛ pass so yɛ ho kyerɛ wɔ yɛ pass no paa bigina wɔ sɛ yɛ me kwa kɔtɔ ɔyɛ yisu shell is say 2.7 yɛsrɛ no adaworoma sɛ de wɔsia hwɛn na ma so ba bia na ma ba bɛdu na yɛ expect sɛ ba bia na ma kwa kudu abandada no nneɛma bɛtumi aba fo abɛdu sei na sɛ nneɛma aba abɛdu sei a ɔntu na ni hwɛ yɛ driver fo because yɛ driver fo yɛ ko den sɛ bɛyɛ a ɔno adisi aban no bɛyɛ dɛ bɛsan ba bɛgye yɛ yɛsrɛ no adaworoma yɛ pass no wɔhwɛ saa side no ɛma yɛ na mama de ba wa ba Obama driver for na wa be near so aboye.
Okay, you also the audience also can dey aka the owner na makan you.
Dey me ka to aso me say because driver for no. When fi say aban we buy no
kasakete.
Nema o che say obo man ne man bo na e de ba fam. Say do na ba fam. But yin tumona no fentiso no in my fentiso wa fu bi. But ye no wo jides e man say e juma de na odinu eye first e ma nduane bo e ma bo say e ba form krakra but ade ha no yi okoto ade o magazine ho a ni ko ade entimi nto spare parts de ma bia ni ho no ma o tete so ono so petrol de mi say o ba na ndam 17 series but what one here mana backups now man for kan mi say lebi no sila was so but fuel no enkoduru abandada ne de no but ire de wo jidie man say one start here man say hihye ne ma no emboa ma mapa entimba man na nsanye jidie 2028 no na ba na sign and tune trust be ide ba sem nyina no.
Okay, yo, thank you very much. So George, we have been coming to you live from Techiman, the capital of the Bono East region. Yeah, the residents, they have a lot of expectations from government. Some of the drivers are asking for reduction of spare parts, prices, and then a whole lot of issues that they are asking for. And then again, when you move to the eastern part of our region here, the issue has to do with the Parable Road Network. Even the previous, the budget that was read earlier on, they spoke a lot about some of the roads. The finance minister talking about the contractors moving back to site because most of the contractors currently are not on site. So they want the contractors to move back to site, and then also want at least to have a processing factory here. We have a lot of cashew nuts here. We also have tomatoes here. And we want irrigation dams here too as well because Siobodom, for instance, farmers, they engage in all year round farming. They are into dozens of tomatoes, cabbage, onions, among others, but they don't have a reliable dam there that they can at least use for irrigation purposes or something of that sort. So please, the concern has to do with the media budget presentation and also find out from the residents whether the expectations have been met.
Thank you very much, Samuel Ayama. That's Samuel Ayama there, who is a Bono East regional correspondent, picking up thoughts from people in that particular region, expectation and what they are looking forward to for the media budget review. I'll get back to the studio. Our guest is still here with us. Mbale is still here with us. And then Dr. Peter Tetu is also here with us. Doc, usually we talk about the figures looking good and all that. But the other question is that I think it's not reflecting in our pocket. We're not feeling it. Why do we, or how do we draw that correspondence between those good figures and then what we should experience in our pockets, as in what's happening on the ground?
The reason why we don't normally see the reflection happening immediately is because the economy is not designed for automatic reset when we see those changes. Let me give you an example. When there was a time when the transport fares, it was indicated that when the fuel price goes up to a certain percentage, I think 10%, prices of fares will go up or will change. When it dropped below 10% or so, it will. But you recall that anytime there's that drop recently, even when it happened recently, it didn't happen. They have to go into negotiation to discuss with them. So the economy doesn't have automatic reset of that system where it will enable changes to happen. So people will tell you we have old stock in place, so we have to, make sure that the old stock is depleted before new stock comes in. the economy design does not support that. And so normally when there's such drops, it will take about 2 to 3 months before you see the effect happening. And also because they will tell you, let's wait and see how this will reflect. And so this is the reason why we have to build an economy that will make business flow or the value chain move in a certain direction. So that if you have people who buy stock and it takes longer time for the stock to be depleted, then this is what will happen. Assuming you are dealing in stock and your stock turnover is, let's say, 1 week. Within 1 week, your sales is gone. Definitely, when you see these changes, it will reflect it will reflect quicker than expected, because the stock you have within a week or two is gone. But when you have a stock that is staying for 2 weeks, 2 months, then that's a 2 month, 3 months, then that's the problem. You say that, no, let me wait and see, because if you don't take care and you finish selling, by the time you go back, the rate will go up again, then you are stuck. And that is the reason why. So it's because these key positive signs that we're talking about.
Okay, I mean, Mallet, same question. Why usually Kenyans complain that, well, the figures too, they look good, but it's not reflective enough.
Yeah, so I look at it. One is what Doug mentioned. Some will tell you we have old stock. We bought them when the exchange rate was at 15. If I should just reduce the price now, then I may not be able to cover the cost I incur at the time of buying it. So I have to still finish selling this at that point. The other thing is, we are in a country where those before now, the exchange rate was going up. So you are not sure what the next exchange rate will be. So you try to buy in stock now at that 15, so that when you get to 20, at least you have stock. So the turnover time, it's longer because you have a lot of stock you bought at that price. But I also look at it from this angle. Could it be that if things are not this way, prices, we are feeling an impact now? Because if not, assuming the exchange rates has rather depreciated and currently around 20, the person selling the spare parts price, so I have to increase my stock, get more goods. So yes, we are expecting to see a reduction. Maybe that is why we feel we are not feeling the impact. But let's also look at it from this angle, that price would have been higher than it is currently.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at it at that angle, you see that at least there is an impact. The impact is not just the reduction.
Although we are not seeing the reduction.
Yes, although we are not seeing the reduction. It means prices are not increasing the way it should be. Probably the price of the goods that was at 15 and now you are buying at 16 could have been at 20. So if you look at it at that angle, you tend to see the impact.
Okay, we're still monitoring feed and we'll take you back to Parliament House shortly. Our earlier conversation talked about the figures and how good you're looking, inflation coming down, the currency doing that well, GDP growth has projected, has even exceeded its projecting. Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, it's gone beyond its targets and all that. There is another school of thought that says that these figures are looking good because government is not spending, or government has not even spent yet. So if government starts to spend, government starts to invest into projects, begins to pay contractors and all that, and we still have these good-looking figures, that we can boldly say that, yes, the economy is gradually getting on its feet. You agree with such thoughts?
I agree partly, because if they say government is not spending, that is not totally the case. Government is spending. Of course, government is moving. So government is spending.
But not
just that.
Just that.
Exactly. So that's why I said partly. The real spending where everybody is talking about is looking at the capital expenditure, where you now see a lot of roads project going on. You see a lot of construction works going on. When that starts, that's where we will know our real smoothness level. that indeed the reserve we've built over the years. And the positive indicators that we have seen, how is it going to be sustained when we start spending? Because once you start paying contractors, once you see a lot of CD circulating in the system, then don't forget, you have more. You have to look at it in a 360-degree form. The reason is that if you don't produce enough in your economy, once people start getting more money, they want to spend. If they want to spend on things that are not produced in the economy, then they will look elsewhere. And once inflation is high where they are going, then that's where we have imported inflation coming in, because where they are buying the things from is coming in. Also, when they don't have enough in the country, then the fewer that they have, people will start increasing the prices. So people will start telling you that, oh, the thing is there, but they say it's not. Just like what is happening to the cedi now, to the dollar. there's a lot of dollars in the system, but people are doing wait and see, and so they are not releasing it. When it was dropping, people are in hurry to go and change it, pumping in now. So if you go to the interbank to buy dollar today, you struggle. You not get enough dollars to buy from the interbank.
Oh, it's still happening?
It's still happening. If you want to buy dollars, it's difficult to buy dollars from the interbank level.
I thought Bank of Ghana said it's not so.
No, it's not so because there's a lot of dollar in the system. But it is also true for those who deal in it that if you want to buy dollar from the bank, it's difficult. You have to, if they don't send your allocation, the Bank of Ghana supplies dollars to the entities.
Yes.
You send it, and then it will take some time because Bank of Ghana is no more pumping in as it used to be. Those who were adding, I don't belong to the banks. It belongs to an individual or a businessman or a woman. If he's not selling, how will you? You understand it? And so it is like a two-edged of the sword. I mean, no matter how you turn it, you get cut somewhere. And so definitely, I mean, with regards to these changes, we should expect it to happen in a way that if care is not taken, we'll see the figures ballooning again. We'll see inflation going up. We'll see the exchange rate going up.
And that massive expenditure
starts. And so what government needs to do is that you have to tread cautiously in releasing it. So if you are paying contractors, you should know how to deal with it.
Money,
exactly, how to waste the money. If it is required that you have to put some challenge, because you can't control it. When there's money in the people's pocket and they are spending, you can't tell them not to spend. So we will know our smoothness level when, I'm sure after this mid-year budget, when they are saying that contractors are going to be paid, they will move to site. People will be employed. So when people are employed, those people who will have been employed as laborers or who were sitting at home now will have some money in their pocket. So they will go out, they will go and spend. So that is how inflation takes place. If those people don't have enough to supply to meet the demand, then that is why we see inflation happen. And that is normally the practical aspect of it, that when people begin to get employment and they are paid, because those who are selling at the market, they don't get enough demand, they still have fewer stock. So when people start getting employment, people start getting paid, and they go to the market now. So the one who sells wache now, maybe currently he sells about 1 bag or half bag. He doesn't know when the contractors are going to be paid. So tomorrow, she still goes and still cook half bag. But you realize that, people have come on the road, they are doing construction work. So a lot of them now come to buy wache. You go and they say there's no wache. Tomorrow when she's going to cook, if she's using a certain quantity, she will start reducing it. And so you start buying more. And that inflation. So the real sector, is where the real business takes place. And that is why once these things are coming, so that we'll be able to
chasing the money.
Yes.
And what is the money also chasing?
So that we'll see whether we have enough. If it is a case that people rice, and when they get more rice, when they go to the market and don't get more rice, that's why price of rice will start going up.
Okay.
That's what I meant by that.
All right. Before I come to you, Malet, let me go to the telephone lines and talk to Maurice. Hello, Maurice. Maurice, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Maurice, what's happening? We're told that it's supposed to start at 12. It's past 12 now. It's 5 minutes past 1.
Yes, so as you might have seen the pictures, the finance minister himself is in the building already. Some few meetings with both sides and the speaker, and then any moment from now, the finance minister would come and deliver the media budget. But before then, there's going to be some other works, before the finance minister appears. So, George, the finance minister is in the building. Any moment from now, really, he should be doing the presentation.
All right. What about the minority? Earlier, when you were talking to Augustus, was that idea that they might not be present in Parliament?
Sure. So, as we speak now, the minority is in the building. Black. What we hear is that when just around the time the finance minister will be presenting the budget, they have also scheduled to present a petition to the president. So as we speak now, they are in the chamber. We do not know whether they've changed the plan, but what we were told in the morning was that around the time the finance minister will be presenting the budget, they will also be presenting a petition to the president. So we wait to see whether that happens. But George, before the proceedings, not too long ago, the Minister for Roads and Highways, he addressed the media, and he's made a very significant statement. He's saying that cement manufacturers must break down the price or the prices of cement, especially because we've seen the cedi appreciate significantly. We've seen prices of some other goods reduce. So he's expecting cement manufacturers to bring down their price. Don't forget that cement is a major component in road construction. He has informed us that in the next few days, there's going to be a major road construction drive that the government is going to roll out. And his ministry will only go with cement manufacturers who have decided to reduce their prices. He is looking at an average of 95 cedis of cement per bag. At the moment, we have some cement, prices at 100 Ghana cedis, 110, 120. The minister is trying to use this major road initiative to convince, reduce their prices in line with the city's appreciation that we are seeing, George. So, that's a significant statement coming from the Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Gavin Abuja.
But is it that easy, or would it be that easy for these cement manufacturers to readily reduce their prices, knowing very well some of the challenges that they might be talking about?
Judge, I can't hear you well. If you can.
My question is that, can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Maurice?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yes. Whether it lies within him to demand and call on the cement manufacturers to reduce their prices, knowing very well that these manufacturers too have some challenges within the space.
Right. So what he's saying is that in the past, cement manufacturers had pointed to the cost of clinker as a major driver of cement production cost. And so he believes, or he is thinking, that once we've seen the cedi, appreciate against the dollar, pound sterling against the euro, then the cost of clinker, which is a major component in cement manufacturing, should come down. And so he also expects, or it is the thinking of his ministry and for that matter government, that cement manufacturers will bring down their price. Not too long ago, I think a couple of days ago, cement manufacturers had a meeting with the Minister of Trade, Industry and Agribusiness. That discussion came up. She asked their price. I wait to see what really comes, out of that particular meeting. Other organizations have said that it's become imperative around this time for a reduction in the price of a lot of items on the market. So, George, really, the minister is thinking that one, and so the prices should come down.
Okay, all right. All right, Maurice, we'll leave it here. And as you stated, we should expect this to start anytime we get us all the events and happenings in there. Earlier, we're told that this whole budget review is supposed to start at 10. There was media budget review. Let me move to Martin here when we're talking, having a conversation with Dr. Tekpe here concerning issues around the whole idea of having the monies in there and it's not being reflective as well, and that government's not spending that much. So for that matter, the figures will look good.
Yeah. I normally say the decision not to spend it's also an economic decision in itself to achieve something. So yes, but like Dr. Tekpe mentioned, once we start spending, that will reflect in the market. You expect more money in the market, and depending on what the people spend on and its availability on the market will affect the inflation and even the exchange rate. So I'm sure it's a reason they are also looking at the timing of the 24-hour economy, because if you look at the policy, you notice that they are looking at some tax incentives for some players, especially in the agric and some strategic manufacturing companies looking at maybe agric processing. So with that, then they are looking at the money, the people who earn this money will spend on these things. So these things are manufactured locally. So you don't have to import them. They are here. So that will reduce the pressure that will come on the dollar, which will push the exchange rate up. About the inflation, yes, once we manage this properly, I expect to see some increase in the inflation, but not as much. And I'm sure if they manage it properly with some other economic policy, it should be able to keep it stable for some time. And
can we hit the single digit?
Yes.
Well, now it's 13.7 as we move.
Well,
the projection is to end at 11 by the end of the year.
Yes.
But if you're considering the rate at which it's dropping now, whether we can hit a single digit is another issue.
To be frank, from our projections, it should hit single digits. But with the road projects that are coming, we're starting debt servicing that are going to cost some money to be thrown into the system. Let's wait to see. Maybe when we start spending.
Right. Look, can we still hold on to hitting single digits, although projection is at 11?
If you look at the inflation basket, one of the biggest contributors is food. Food is the biggest contributor to inflation. Inflation problem as a whole. And this government is doing very well in terms of the agricultural value chain, the entire agric sector. And so we realize that the 24-hour economy, the whole thing is hinging around agriculture. If it is implemented very well, it's going to solve a very big problem. And so government should look at the focus area. When that is done, then you'll be able to be certain of hitting single digit inflation in the near term. And yes, by the end of the year, it should be doable once this problem is solved, because that is a major problem. And it is difficult because we don't eat we don't have all that we eat. We don't produce all that we eat here. And so we import a lot of things. And if we don't address that intentionally, then the issue of inflation will be undulating. It will go up and come down, go up, come down. You'll not be able to plan very well. So yes, it is doable, but we have a lot of work to do in order to achieve that.
What's the challenge in here? Yes, we do a lot of importation when it comes to food inflation, but again, becomes very difficult that an agrarian country like ours, inflation when it comes to food will always be high, because it should be on the minimal then.
Yes, in fact, in Ghana we should.
That's one thing that it's a bit difficult to understand.
If there's one country that should not struggle for food, it should be Ghana. Because if you look at our total land area as a country, the portion that you can grow anything and you get it is big.
Yes.
So we shouldn't have problem. Unfortunately, our agricultural sector has suffered so long after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left. And as a result of that, we have not been able to invest into it as we expected. One of the things that will solve the problem is when we are able to their farming activities. This, the 24-hour economy has a portion where over 2 million hectares losses. Because if you look at it, government loses between, farmers, we lose between around 30% to post-harvest losses. So you see people farming, harvesting, and at the end of the day, if you travel across Ghana, you see people have food on the roadside. Somebody is selling banana, somebody is selling watermelon. After 2 days, 3 days, nobody buys. What happens?
It goes bad.
It goes bad. The same to other ones as well. And so when we address these two major problems, where we can farm around the years, we can be able to solve the post-harvest losses, then we'll have enough. Because you see, consumption is going to increase so now we need more. That is why I was always saying that when you are growing or you are expanding as an economy and you don't look at the infrastructure along the growth, then you realize that your growth will not bring the benefit that is required because you are not moving with structures. So we say we want to increase yield. We've not built warehouses to reduce post-harvest losses. And we say we'll grow more food. You realize that you are growing more food, but you are throwing more food away. That is why we have to build these structures internally, intentional, so that will help us to address this problem. When that is done, I can tell you that everybody will be happy to live in Ghana because the later you have, you can get enough good food to eat as well.
Okay, all right. My same question concerning food inflation.
Yeah, so I think all I want to add to what Doug mentioned is that at times you go to where the farming communities and you can get some of these things cheap. But bringing them to Accra or to the major cities, they become expensive. People complain about the road network. So we are speaking about roads. So once the roads get constructed, the 24-hour economy, to mention, there are Greek issues in there. And there are other policies about agric is actually mentioning that they are going to go into. So if we cure the post-harvest losses, we need some of these warehouses. So if we have the warehouses, we are able to push into this. Yeah, we should be able to do something better from agric.
All right, we'll go for a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
They force drivers to reduce the fare. But when you enter magazine, spare part dealers, their prices are still the same. And even they are increasing it. What we used to buy at probably 200 cedis is now 300 cedis. So what we are urging the government is that probably they should speak with the spare parts dealers to also reduce their pass to help the drivers some more.
The presa buy no basic factory wa no ye dam bi se be betima so ya se Burkina for dam ya awia petra odie yo bibia nsutobra yetimi ya adwuma bibia na ebenya factory so so betimi de nipa ne bia horo abai ne betima to ne because ye do ne ma na ye nto pan no so nya
oye tan ye be kan me na me wen say ya driver for government ni tim tupatu mu omia keska wotum bra wati patu bo no so omo ye tickets ka so nso eco magazine ye ko kumba bia ne ban bo se ne etia ne etie MPP ban be no oye agenda 111 awa e bia onya complete nti ese aban be so won hwe se sa ne manya no oba complete na de mfaso abati mamhunmo se ko ba se aban ye bi na wo bana se wo wan so na sa kwa fufa na che se obo man no ka ese do mama na wa ye bia ma ye pa o ma ne ma mra fam na se ne e be ya e betimi adi na kam.
We are expecting that at least price of things will come down. At least we know it's difficult anyway. But my expectation is that much attention will be paid to agriculture. Well, I believe that by the close of the year, if agriculture is taken properly, food can be in abundance.
No Ghana for say I had met me the Okono, Akakodama Ghana for. Now you're able to my Yajuma, and yes, the cash will for fear. No,
they will break. So, by no guys over to no mass. By Omatu and no money piece of your fair Matiso. And so no man who could market Cotaria and Teso, I did chance out to fool. I did tell us every year to know them.
For the clearance for allied health professionals, especially the laboratory scientists. In fact, ATU is forcing is to force and let what we call it the laboratory scientists to feel what we call it his force sum.
90 years of impact.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second edition of Spectacle. This is the pressure we're talking about.
The scope of the producer's work. From there, we just jumped on the train.
Chapter 2, Chapter 3 to 6. Your ultimate destination to an unparalleled entertainment experience. Get ready for the hottest vibe, the juiciest gossip, and unfiltered interviews featuring top-notch pundits. We will dive into the latest buzz from Parliament.
The micro minority.
Showcasing the best-dressed MPs and highlighting the funniest quotes of the day. We will explore the intriguing, ugly moments in entertainment. Join me, your fabulous big sister Haga, as we uncover this and many more other captivating stories in the thrilling journey through the entertainment landscape.
This man is an angel in Africa.
As we always say, Spectacle, it's all about the entertainment.
GBC, 90 years of impact.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second edition of Spectacle. This is the pressure we're talking about.
The scope of the producer's work. From there, we just jumped on the train.
Chapter 2, Chapter 3 to 6. Your ultimate destination to an unparalleled entertainment experience. Get ready for the hottest vibe, the juiciest gossip, and unfiltered interviews featuring top-notch pundits. We will dive into the latest buzz from Parliament.
The micro minority.
Showcasing the best-dressed MPs and highlighting the funniest quotes of the day. We will explore the intriguing, ugly moments in entertainment. Join me, your fabulous big sister Haga, as we uncover this and many more other captivating stories in the thrilling journey through the entertainment landscape.
This man is an angel in Africa.
As we always say, Spectacle, it's all about the entertainment.
Some individuals and business operators continue to find their way out to smuggle in some products into the country.
This is Agona Yakrum, and behind me is a bridge, of course, on the river Accra, which is one of the major rivers within this area.
We'll be in the Savannah region, we'll go to the northeast region, and we will be telling you a lot more about the people's expectation ahead of election 2024.
Get to know more about Bono and Ahafo regions.
Residents of Kambali and Dobile can now heave a sigh of relief following the construction of this culvert, even during the raining season. Reporting for Real Time, Salah Abdul Wahab. Wow.
It is also anticipated that within the next 10 years, Okwasi and its enclave will become self-sustaining, self-reliant economically, socially, with or without gold mining activities.
These children are looking up to God, they are looking up to central government, they are looking up to you and I to have a convenient learning environment for them to be able to rise up to be responsible citizens in this country.
Real Time, your eyes to the regions. Showing on your screens from Monday to Thursday at 11 a.m. and on Fridays at 1 p.m.
edition of Spectacle.
This is the pressure we're talking about.
The scope of the producer's work. From there, we just jumped on the train.
Chapter 2, Chapter 3 to 6. Your ultimate destination to an unparalleled entertainment experience. Get ready, pundits. We will dive into the latest buzz from Parliament.
The micro minority.
Showcasing the best dressed MPs and highlighting the funniest quotes of the day. We will explore the intriguing and many more other captivating stories in the thrilling journey through the entertainment landscape.
This man is an angel in Africa.
As we always say, Spectacle, it's all about the entertainment.
GBC, 90 years of impact.
It's the conversation that matters, the ultimate discussion. Our panel of journalists tackle all topics from politics to social justice, economy to entertainment. No topic is off limits. No question is too tough. Our panel will dive through telling. Don't miss the Reporters Roundtable every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. on GBC News.
Some individuals and business operators continue to find their way out to smuggle in some products into the country.
This is Agona Yakrum, and behind me is a bridge, of course, on the river Accra, which is one of the major rivers within this area.
We'll be in the Savannah region, we'll go to the northeast region, and we will be telling you a lot more about the people's expectation ahead of election 2024.
Get to know more about Bono and Ahafo regions.
Residents of Kambali and Dobile can now heave a sigh of relief following the construction of this culvert, even during the raining season. Reporting for Real Time, Salah Abdul Wahab. Wow.
It is also anticipated that within the next 10 years, Okwasi and its enclave will become self-sustaining, self-reliant economically, socially, with or without gold mining activities.
These children are looking up to God, they are looking up to central government, they are looking up to you and I to have a convenient learning environment for them to be able to rise up to be responsible citizens in this country.
Real Time, your eyes to the regions. Showing on your screens from Monday to Thursday at 11 a.m. and on Fridays at 1 p.m.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second edition of Spectacle.
This is the pressure we're talking about.
The scope of the producer's work. From there, we just jumped on the train.
Chapter 2, Chapter 3 to 6. Your ultimate destination to an unparalleled entertainment experience. Get ready for the hottest vibes, the juiciest gossip, and unfiltered interviews featuring top-notch pundits. We will dive into the latest buzz from Parliament.
The micro minority.
Showcasing the best dressed MPs and highlighting the funniest quotes of the day. We will explore the intriguing, ugly moments in entertainment. Join me, your fabulous big sister Higa, as we uncover this and many more other captivating stories in the thrilling journey through the entertainment landscape.
This man is an angel in Africa.
As we always say, Spectacle, it's all about the entertainment.
90 years of impact.
It's the conversation that matters, the ultimate discussion. Our panel of journalists tackle all topics from politics to social justice, economy to entertainment. No topic is off limits. No question is too tough. Our panel will dissect the issues that shape our world. We'll serve you with unfiltered insights, unapologetic opinions, and uncompromising truth-telling. Don't miss the Reporters Roundtable every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. on GBC News.
To smuggle in some products into the country.
This is Agona Yakrum, and behind me is a bridge, of course, on the river Accra, which is one of the major rivers within this area.
So we'll be in the Savannah region, we'll go to the northeast region, and we will be telling you a lot more about the people's expectation ahead of election.
Can now heave a sigh of relief following the construction of this culvert, even during the raining season. Reporting for Real Time, Salah Abdul Wahab. Wow.
It is also anticipated that within the next 10 years, Okwasi and its enclave will become self-sustaining, self-reliant economically, socially, with or without gold mining activities.
These children are looking up to God, they are looking up to central government, they are looking up to you and I to have a convenient learning environment for them to be able to rise up to be responsible citizens in this country.
Real Time, your eyes to the regions. Showing on your screens from Monday to Thursday at 11 a.m. and on Fridays at 1 p.m.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second edition of Spectacle.
This is the pressure we are talking about.
The scope of the producer's work. From there, we just jumped on the train.
Chapter 2, Chapter 3 to 6. Your ultimate destination to an unparalleled entertainment experience. Get ready for the hottest vibes, the juiciest gossip, and unfiltered interviews featuring top-notch pundits. We will dive into the latest buzz from Parliament.
The micro minority.
Showcasing the best dressed MPs and highlighting the funniest quotes of the day. We'll explore the intriguing, ugly moments in entertainment. Join me, your fabulous big sister Higa, as we uncover this and many more other captivating stories in the thrilling journey through the entertainment landscape.
This man is an angel in Africa.
As we always say, Spectacle, it's all about the entertainment.
GBC, 90 years of impact.
It's the conversation that matters, the ultimate discussion. Our panel of journalists tackle all topics from politics to social justice, economy to entertainment. No topic is off limits. No question is too tough. Our panel will dissect the issues that shape our world. We'll serve you with unfiltered insights, unapologetic opinions, and uncompromising truth-telling. Don't miss the Reporters Roundtable every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. on GBC News.
Some individuals and business operators continue to pay.
This is Agona Yakrum, and behind me is a bridge, of course, on the river Accra, which is one of the major rivers within this area.
We'll be in the Savannah region, we'll go to the northeast region, and we will be telling you